What's up everyone, Sigs here, and today we have a very cool product to open. So this is the Magic the Gathering Mystery Booster 2 Festival in a Box Secret Lair. So originally these mystery boosters were only available at MagicCon Las Vegas. However, they also released a Secret Lair that includes a full booster box of the Mystery Booster 2, along with some other goodies, which we will see in just a second when we open this up. So this is the box, in case you were curious. Can't quite get it all in frame, but you get the idea. So there are 24 packs of Mystery Booster 2 in here, and we're just checking out that seal. I think it's fine. I don't love the tape over it, but I'm assuming it's fine and not resealed. So we will break it open here, and I will show you everything that can be in here, and then we'll open up a bunch of really cool packs. So I don't even know what this is going to look like, but all right, there we go. We get a little extra printing on the inside there, and this little flap. Open that up. Okay, so this is glued. All right, get a little cardboard cutout there with something we'll take a look at in a second. You get an entire other Secret Lair drop, little legends, and there's the packs. So you get 3 Collector's Booster packs, 1 Commander's Masters, 1 Lost Caverns of Ixalan, 1 Wilds of Eldraine. So a little bit of added value there. And then down in the bottom is the Mystery Booster 2 box. So let me get that out right there. We'll get rid of this other box. Looks like it'll be good for card storage. And this is the box. So this is the draft boosters. There's 24 packs of Mystery Booster 2, which is a very interesting set, if you can call it that. I will explain what the set is all about. Not in focus. And nobody cares what's on there anyway, huh? But just wanted to show off the box, make sure the seal looks good, all that. Put that to the side momentarily. We'll do these collector's packs at the very end. But first, I want to take a look at these other little goodies that you get. So right here, this is, I believe, the MagicCon non-foil promo pack. So I believe this is something you would get at MagicCon. I'm going to open it up. Tempted to leave it sealed, but I'm going to open it up just so we can all see it. You get this little cardboard cutout here with Flibbith, whatever his name is, nothing on the back. And I will crack this open, let everyone take a look at it. So I will maybe put some prices on screen for some of this stuff. If you've seen my other videos, you know, that's usually what I do. It's just a little bit hard to price these cards right now, so I don't know how worth it is. Plus, it's going to be a lot of packs, so not sure if I'll have time, but this is the first thing you get. So there's a Ponder, non-foil. There is a Swords to Plowshare, Secret Lair, non-foil, with a new artwork, and a nice Plains, full art Plains, Secret Lair, unique to the MagicCon promo pack here, and there you go. I think that's the last card, yep. So these are the playtest cards. These are not legal in any format, besides maybe casual. Certainly not Eternal legal, and they are just, you know, playtest cards. They do have a normal back, but they just show it's what the developers use when they're designing new cards to kind of test mechanics and that kind of stuff. So not an official card, but we do get the convention Morrow. You can pause and read it if you'd like. And that is everything that comes in the promo pack right there. So I will set those to the side. Those 4 cards are included in this Secret Lair. And additionally, we do get an entire other Secret Lair drop here. So this is the Lil Legends Rainbow Foil Edition, as you can see. Show you what's in there. And let's go ahead and break it open and take a look at these as well. So I'm going to open it up. I know I can just rip this off, but I like to keep it with the package for reasons. So there we go. All right, open it up. Get a little thank you card. These usually come in the Secret Lairs. Nothing on the back. And nothing else in there, I believe. Yes, that is totally empty. And then the actual cards here. Wow. So these are foil. Again, tempted to leave them sealed, but I will open them up and just sleeve them later so that we can get a look at them. All right, so first up, we do have a Rhea Dawnbringer in this Lil Legends art style in foil. Pretty cool. And then Orvar, the All Form, Mythic Rare Secret Lair, new artwork in foil into a Drana, the Last Blood Chief. Cool card with this new art style in foil. Very cool. And a Lavinia as well in that art style in the foil. There you go. And lastly, I believe, oh, there's a secret card back there. Omnath, Locus of Creation. Again, very cool card in foil, in the new art style, with the extended frame, borderless frame even. Looking very cool. And then the secret card is, okay, it's just a Farhaven Elf extended in foil. They usually have one little secret card that isn't included in the secret layer list, and you don't know what it's going to be. In this case, it's just a Farhaven Elf. But, so you get that too. So pretty cool. You know, you get that secret layer there. And you get the promo pack right there. So all that is included. Very, very cool. Now again, I'm making a mess here with the cards, scratching them all up. Wonderful. There you go. 50% value lost right there with that one maneuver. Now again, you do get 3 Collector's Booster Packs, guaranteed. 1 Wilds of Eldraine, 1 Commander's Master, 1 Lost Caverns of Ixalan. I will open those up, I think, at the end for a little bonus. I'd kind of like to keep them in frame just so people know that I'm not, like, cheating and pulling in other packs, but I'm going to set them off to the side just because I think they'll be in the way. I promise I will open these exact 3 packs at the end. I'm not going to do any shenanigans. And then the main thing here are the mystery boosters. So nice wizard seal, looks good enough to me. Not a reseal as far as I can tell. So go ahead and break that open and start cracking these packs. So there are 24 packs in here. There are over 1,800 cards in this set technically. There are a lot of reprints, but some of the reprints are unique in a number of ways, which I will go over. We'll go a little bit slower on the first pack, and I will explain what these boosters are all about for those who don't know. And then we'll just get to cracking packs. So you can skip ahead if you just want to see the packs opened. If you'd like to hear about what exactly this product is, then you can keep listening. So there's everything on the box. Gets a nice little, it's going to be a little tricky to open here. There we go. Nice little pop stand, whatever you want to call it, where you can do this. It is a display box, so you can display it like that. And there is all the packs, man. So 24 packs, going to be a lot to go through, but we're just going to start ripping through them. Now, this is a great set to draft. It's kind of how it was designed. I don't really have anyone to draft with, so I'm just opening them and putting them in my collection. I was almost tempted to leave these sealed. Not sure what the value of this will do over time if I had kept it sealed. May have been a better financial decision to do that, but I just want to open them and see them because they are very cool and very unique. So there is the Mystery Booster 2 front. Here's the back. You can pause and read if you were ever curious. And I'll show you what's under the flap here. There you go. And we'll go ahead and break in and go over what can be in each slot. So, first of all, there are going to be 10 commons or uncommons, 2 of each color, which is kind of unique. A lot of these are going to be reprints. There are over 1,000 reprints in this set. Some, as we see the first one there, could have updated rules text or typesetting. They could have the digital expansion symbol instead of the usual set symbol there. If they do have the usual set symbol, it will have the list icon right there, the little planeswalker symbol to denote that it is not from the original printing, it is from the Mystery Booster printing. These could come in retro frame in addition to this modern frame. There are some vanilla creatures with alternate languages, and there are some foils that are reprinted in non-foil. So there's going to be 10 of these, I believe. And we'll just go ahead and rip through them. So first up, an Ancestral Blade. This could really be anything. Random Consul's Lieutenant, uncommon from Magic Origins. Meeting of the Minds, common from March of the Machine, I believe. Curiosity, 8th edition. So again, just huge variety in what you can get here. Mind Stab, right there. Urborg Repossession from Dominaria. Crag Smasher Yeti, common. Goblin Taskmaster, that's so cool to me. As it's, I mean, if it weren't for that little stamp in the bottom, which is pretty noticeable, this would just be, what is that, Onslaught? Just an Onslaught card. I mean, it's like pack fresh with the old frame. I mean, that is a, you can see it even has the original date on it, 2002. That's a 22-year-old card that's looking pack fresh. That's like really, really cool to me. So anyway, we get a Sky Shroud Elite, and there should be one more green. Hunger of the Howl Pack right there. Now, coming up, there's going to be one multicolor artifact or common or uncommon land. Nice. Edgewalker, uncommon right there. So that is our multicolored card in this case. And now for the fun stuff. These last 4 slots, basically, is where all the craziness happens. It's where a lot of the value is going to be. And it's going to be really interesting to see. So first up is just a rare or mythic rare, which I believe could just be like any reprint. Wow. So Timeless Dragon, modern Horizons 2, I believe, if I'm remembering my set symbols correctly. Cool, so just like a random rare from a random set. That's pretty cool to see. And now for the really fun stuff, right? So there's going to be a Future Sight frame card. Oh, interesting. Okay, so maybe the order's a little bit off, but there is always going to be one white bordered card. 40% of the time it is a rare or mythic. It has that Mystery Booster 2 set symbol there always. And it is a card that has not previously been in white border, reprinted in white border. So some of these are going to look really, really good. Some are going to look really weird. Seeing a Planeswalker in a white border is just so unique, I think. So that's pretty cool. That's in our set. Now it should be that Future Sight frame I was talking about. Sure is. So we get a Seeker of the Skybreak that is a common in this Future Sight frame. You know, the old Future Sight frame, but new cards in this frame that weren't previously in this frame. So 60% of the time, this will be a rare mythic. It'll be foil less than 5% of the time, and 1% of the time, you can get a foil Acorn Alchemy card. So it's a card from Magic the Gathering Arena, an Alchemy digital-only card that they have actually printed in a physical form. That is only 1% of the time. Those are the money hits. Those are really rare. Some of them are really good. Other ones not so much. There are 7 of those that you could pull at a 1% chance. And then the last slot's going to be a playtest card, which I'll probably read through most of them because I think they're kind of fun. So there we go. So again, these playtest cards, they are not eternal legal. If you want to use them with your own tabletop games, you can go ahead. But they are not eternal legal in any way. And they're just kind of fun new cards that R&D may have been testing, usually with some pretty crazy effects. So this one's Kozilek completed, however you want to say it. 8 Phyrexian mana symbol. When you cast this spell, each opponent gets 2 poison counters. Then each opponent with more than 2 cards in hand discards cards equal to the difference. A Nigh effect. That must be the playtest mechanic. Whenever this creature attacks, defending player sacrifices a permanent for each poison counter they have. So interesting, Phyrexian, Eldrazi, Annihilator / Infect combination card. Wonder if that'll ever get printed. Again, do have a standard Magic back. That is not in focus, but I'm sure you've seen them millions of times. And there you go. So that's the first pack. We'll go a lot quicker on the rest. You get your playtest card in the back, your Future Sight, which could be the Acorn reprint, Alchemy reprint, which is very cool. Your white border card. Those are kind of the money slots right there. And then you do get just like your guaranteed rare. That could be from any set. And then all of your reprints. Again, 1 multicolored or artifact or land. And then 2 of each color. Just random reprints from like over 1,000 cards. So it could really be anything. I don't know every card in existence. I've been playing Magic on and off for over 20 years. So some of them I will recognize as like, oh, that's a great card. That's a good hit. Other ones I will have no idea what they're worth. I don't know how the fact that it's a reprint affects the value. Some of these cards that haven't been printed in a long time and haven't gotten reprints, especially some of these like uncommons from older sets, could have good value. And I don't know the fact that it's a reprint's going to reduce the value that much. I think it's still going to be, a little bit less, but kind of in line with what those cards are worth. So there could be some really cool hits in here, or it could be a lot of junk. But anyway, that's the first pack. I'm going to put these ones off to the side because we'll do a little recap at the end. And then otherwise, we'll just get to cracking packs here because there are a lot of them to go through, and I've been rambling more than long enough. So let's go right into the next pack here. Again, go a lot quicker now. It's been a really long time of me rambling, just trying to collect my thoughts. So now we'll get to what everybody's here to see, which are the packs. So we'll rip through these pretty quick. You can pause and read if you want to see any of these cards. The Adamant Will. Wow, Command of Unsummoning from Portal. That's cool. Dream Thrush. Augur of Skulls. Dothy Trapper. God, I just love these old cards. Acidic Soil, right there. Scoria Cap. Kenrith's Transformation. Yavimaya Granger. Skybridge Tower, that's our land slot. And then next up should be the Rare Mythic, which is a Goblin Goliath. Pretty cool. And then the white border. Wow, white bordered Bolas' Citadel. So that's a rare. Very cool. Let me make sure these are like in frame and nice and in focus. You could pause and read it and just crop my hands out and get a nice little screenshot of what these cards look like. Very cool to see. And then the Future Sight, Sengir Vampire in a Future Sight frame. A lot of these too have new artwork that used to be digital only. or they're entirely new. And 15 of these are foil only. These Future Sight cards, that you can't get them in non-foil in this new printing. And there are 3 new Eternal Legal cards. Velucan Dragon, Mardu Outrider, and Goblin Gang Leader, I believe. Those have never been printed in Eternal before, but if you pull one of those, you can use it in Eternal formats, which is pretty cool. So there you go. And then our playtest. Your wish is my command. 1 blue. You may cast an instant or sorcery spell from your sideboard. If you cast a modal spell this way, you may choose an additional mode. That would be a really good card, honestly. So that's pretty cool. All right, so let's get right to the next pack. Set these aside. And away we go. So yeah, this video may end up being kind of long because there's so many packs. I don't know. It's going to take me so long to get all these cards scanned in and everything too that I'll be able to really do prices. I don't know that I'll have time to edit it. I think if we get any really big hits, I will put the prices on screen, but it's going to be a little hard with the prices being so volatile and with how many cards there are, but we'll see. Anyway, we have the Reveille Squad, the Glimmerpoint Stag, Thwart, Breakthrough. God, I love these old cards. Reign of Filth, Sheoldred's Edict, that's seen a lot of play. Orcish Settlers, was that Whistler's Wife or whatever, that artwork, that's kind of hilarious. Titan Strength right there, I have millions of those from cracking packs. Moment's Peace, Kavu Predator, Poison Tip Archer for our multicolored, and then the rare, Hushbringer, cool. Not sure how much play it gets, but cool looking card. And then the white border, Mardu Outrider. So there you go. We were just talking about that. That has never been printed in Eternal. Now we have it in an Eternal playable physical printing. So that's a rare white border. It just looks so unique. Very, very cool. And then the Future Sight, Serum Powder right there in rare. Interesting to see. And the playtest card, that is a Wise Drafter's Will. Your opponent plays with their hand revealed. You could sacrifice it to draw a card, or pay 2 and sacrifice it to counter target spell. Pretty cool card, actually, too. Another one I could see playing in some blue decks. It's interesting, too, you get the white playtest card, which I think, if I'm noticing correctly, yeah. So you could see how it's not the blue that's coming through on the edge. Like there's more on the left here than there is on this one. So it's just kind of slapped over. It's not always in the exact same orientation. You can see the white doesn't quite line up there. So it's just interesting to see how they're printed. You can see like a little peeking W coming out of the edge there, as if that was a real card, and they just slapped this over it. So it's like they're teasing what the real card would look like. Interesting, too. This one has the old frame, and this one has the new frame. So anyway, just interesting to me anyway. And there you go. That is pack number 3, I believe. I'm definitely going to lose count of the packs. So at least we know we're on pack 3 now, and this will be pack 4. Not sure if I'm presenting any of this correctly. I'm sure people just want to see the packs cracked and don't care about any of this other stuff, but I find it interesting, and I paid money for it, so I'm going to enjoy it. Talk about what I want. So, Abolish, Fairy Guide Mother there. Rapid Hybridization for our blues. Mana War, cool. Skin Thinner even. Tortured Existence, God, so cool. Let me just make sure these are like in focus and nice lighting. You can pause and take a look at all these. Sure Strike, Mog Maniac, Horn Sliver, even. Horn Sliver, that might have some value. I know slivers, a lot of them have good value. Not sure about that one. Arrogant Worm, that's one. Interesting. This is one of the banned artworks. I believe it's updated now, but there used to be a rather phallic tree, I believe, in front of the worm, and then they changed the artwork on it among some others a few years ago. I believe this is the new printing on the artwork, but anyway, interesting to see. And then our multicolored or artifact, wow, Shuko. So I think that has value. And again, I'm not sure what the reprinting is going to do to the value of the old card. It'll probably come down a bit. And then I don't know how close to the value of the old card this reprint will be. But that'll be interesting to see, because this card, I believe, was like a $10 card just because of the Equip 0 and artifact decks. That was really, really good. So that's like a nice hit right there. And then we'll go into our rare or mythic. Shared Summons for the rare. There you go. And then the white border. Just a common. Street Wraith. God, I really hope I'm keeping these in focus, because that's the whole point of this video. And our Future Sight. Nice. Scalelord Reckoner. Wow. just so unique having a, I mean, this was what, a Khans of Tarkir card or Dragons of Tarkir card, I would imagine. In that Future Sight frame, just such a unique mashup. And then our playtest. Yawgmoth's Day Planner. 3 black, tap, pay 2 life, add 2. You may cast spells from your graveyard. Only mana produced by abilities that cause you to lose life may be spent to cast spells this way. If a card would be put into your graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. Okay, so that is like, you know, I wonder if they'll ever make a card quite like that. Could be kind of playable in certain decks. Certainly, you could see some good synergy there. And we'll move right on to the next pack. So again, there are just so many, I guess we'll keep going in order. So many reprints in this set. Could be some great value in that common, uncommon slot. Could hit a really good rare mythic. And then there are some really unique and rare Future Sight and White Border cards that are probably going to have good value. So, we'll rip through again here. Fearless Fledgling, Crowan Phalanx, Wicked Slumber, Deceiver's Exarch, Priest of Gix, Mischievous Poltergeist, cool artwork, Rending Volley, a lot of junk too, like the Eldraine that you probably have 10 million of if you ever opened this set. There is our green, first green, Brood Monitor, second green, Call of the Herd, and then our multicolored card is a Slippery Bogle, then our rare mythic. Okay, Momir Vig, Simic Visionary, reprint right there. Then our white border, Basilisk Gate. God, looks cool in that white border. I really generally don't like white border cards, but for some reason, just seeing cards that didn't previously have the white border have it looks so cool. And then the Future Sight, Underworld Breach. Wow. That's cool, man. In the Future Sight frame, Underworld Breach. Wow. All right, and the playtest card, Omnipresent Imposter, 2 colorless Changeling. It has all card names. As you search your library for 1 or more cards, you may choose him as one of those cards. Okay, interesting. Another card that, like, in certain tribal decks, certainly could have a lot of uses. So, interesting to see. Let me move this out of the way and go right into the next pack. So I've heard mixed reviews on this. Some people say they love opening this set. Other people say they got nothing but junk. Certainly some chase hits we could get. Or we could just get a lot of duplicates, but we'll see. So Ramosian Rally, Rambunctious Mutt, Shipwreck Dowser, Apprentice Sorcerer, Mindrack Harpy, Disturbed Burial, Geist Blast, Flame Elemental. You know what, man? I know we just want to rip through these cards and I keep pausing, but just something about seeing the new and the old cards back to back just reminds me how much more I like that old frame. Maybe just me, but the art seemed better. I guess they're working with different mediums back in the day, a lot more digital stuff going on now. So, you know, just really like those old cards, and it's just being emphasized seeing them back to back with others. But we go into the Hero's Bane, the Golden Bear right there, a nice vanilla creature, and our multicolored or artifact. We get the Angel's Trumpet, and then our rare, Gaddock Teague right there, and the white border. Oh, wow. Snow-covered island white border. God, that is just gorgeous. I know it's just a land. It's probably not worth anything, but wow. That's going to get played in some of my decks for sure. That's really cool. And then our Future Sight is just an Energy Flux, uncommon. Nothing crazy going on there. And our playtest, Saga, you could see again on the edge there as if it was a modern printed Saga card. The Many Deeds of Belzenlock, 1 black. Exile up to 1 target Saga from a graveyard, copy its Chapter 1 ability, and then you exile a Saga, copy its Chapter 2, and then you exile a Saga and copy its Chapter 3. So if you got a Saga deck, legendary spell deck, that would be really good in it. If that made that into a card. Some of these they have in the past, I know. From the playtest cards, they've made something very, very similar. And other ones are just a little bit too far out there. But very cool. It would be fun to play with those in just like a tabletop, you know, with your friends format where anything goes. Some very unique mechanics, but we'll go to the next pack. We get the Angelic Protector, Release the Dogs, Drift of Phantasms, Pirate's Prize, Cabal Pit. Wow, that's cool. And what color is that? I guess that's black, because it's has swamp effects, even though the card isn't black, so that's interesting. And then our Vampire of the Dire Moon, Our red cards is an Ancient Hydra, a Sparksmith, our greens, Vine Mare, and a Noose Constrictor into the multicolored artifact. Star Compass, cool looking card, and then our rare mythic. Ooh, what? Hymn of the Wilds. That's a conspiracy card. Mythic rare. That's such a weird reprint. I guess this set was designed for draft, as was conspiracy, so that could be playable in a draft. I'm not sure the value on these because I don't know that people actually play these in other formats besides like draft and conspiracy, but that's one of our mythic rares, so that's interesting. Then our white border. Ooh, Sphinx of the Steel Wind. Don't think that's very good, but it is a mythic rare in the white border with the old kind of style artifact frame, or mid-style, whatever you want to call it. Not the totally old frame, but not the totally new frame either. Kind of like that Shards of Alara frame. Interesting to see. And, whoops. Ah, jeez. Making a mess. But Ball Lightning. That card has seen play before, certainly. 3 mana for a 6 with Trample and Haste. That used to be pretty good in burn decks, and it is in the Future Sight frame, and it is rare. Pretty cool. And the playtest card, Flavor Disaster, oh lord. 4 green, reach. When it enters the battlefield or gets turn face up, target creature gets +X until end of turn, where X is its power, and it has Negamorph. You can cast it face down for 2/2, flip it for 3, turn it face up, and put a -1/-1 counter on it. It's an elemental pirate. I was wondering where the Flavor Disaster was. I guess because it's an enchantment creature, but it's also a pirate, and pirates aren't usually enchantments. And it's green, and it is reach, which green often have, as well as morph and buffing, so that makes sense. It's a little over-budgeted for 4/3, I would say. I think the flavor is just the effects all match, but the fact that it's an enchantment creature and the artwork doesn't match the rest of the flavor. So what a flavor disaster that is. And that is very interesting to see. So let's keep it moving here. Not sure if my commentary is adding anything. It's kind of just me gushing about these cards to myself. I'm sure most people just want to see the cards and don't really care, but they are welcome to just scrub through and find what they want to find, I guess, and we will keep going. Contraband Livestock, Sunder the Gateway, Watcher for Tomorrow, Shadow Rift in the old frame, Vampiric Link with the Planar Chaos frame, I believe that is. Reckoner's Bargain from Kamigawa, Solar Blast, Meridia's Downfall. Into the greens, it has always been the same order too. I've been meaning to say that for a while. It's always white, blue, black, red, and then green. Diligent Farmhand, Penumbra Kavu. Kavu's need to make a comeback, man. That could be a great tribal. And then our multicolored artifact or land, we get an artifact, Patriarch's Seal, a rare mythic. Ooh, Phyrexian Scriptures, mythic. There you go. Don't think that has a lot of value, but it is a mythic rare, which is cool. And then our white border, Prismatic Ending, just an uncommon. There you go. And the Future Sight, Gush, just a common, nothing crazy there. Pretty nice artwork, though. There you go. And then our Wrath of Leknif. 1, 2 white, blue, destroy all creatures that can't be regenerated. Untap up to 4 lands you control. Wow. So a free destroy all creatures, they can't be regenerated, with I guess the drawback being that it takes 2 different colors of mana, as opposed to the usual white only that like a Wrath card would have, with the old frame back there. Could be a cool card. Seems really strong, to be honest with you, in certain control decks. So that is pretty unique and cool to see. And we go right into the next one here. Trying to go quick. Most people probably already turned this off because I was rambling way too much at the start. But now we're going to get cruising, I hope. So we have a Devout Witness, Raise the Alarm, Zephid's Embrace, in focus, nice and flat, good lighting, Chalara, Master Polymorphist, Deadly Dispute, Throat Slitter, cool card. That might have some value still, because those Kamigawa's cards, what is that one? Is that Deceivers of Kamigawa? Whatever that set was called. Not a lot of reprints on those in the whole ninjutsu theme. There's some good tribals with that, so that might have some value, not sure. Aftershock right there. Thermo Alchemist. Into greens, Quirion Dryad. Trollhide Into multicolor artifact or land. You get a chromatic sphere with the old printing. Very cool. Rare mythic. Just a Grim Hireling. Tiefling Rogue right there for one of those Dungeons and Dragons sets. White border Spirit of the Labyrinth. Wow, that looks so cool. So that's a rare, pretty interesting card. Very cool to see. And then the Future Sight. Oh, a mythic. Temporal Manipulation. Take an extra turn after this one for 3/2 blue. Very cool. Nice looking artwork. Looks really cool in that frame too. And then the constructed playtest card, Toddler's Rage. 1 red, flash, enchant creature, gets +2/+1, and it has Tantrum. It's like Trample, but for blocking? Huh. So, when you block, you deal damage if you have more power than their toughness? Is that how that would work? Interesting. Wonder how they intend for that mechanic to work. It's like Trample, but for blocking. Ponder that for a while. And let's get going into the next one. I think we're probably about halfway through here. Again, I feel like leaving this sealed and actually drafting it at one point, or just keeping it sealed for posterity's sake would be really cool, but I just wanted to see all this new cool stuff. So we're ripping through with the Sir Alan of the Lion's Claw, the False Summoning, which again, you can see here. So you see that symbol? I believe, unless I'm mistaken, that's one of the Magic Online symbols. So then this is a reprint that has some type of either updated rules text or typesetting that gets this digital-only symbol, I believe. I haven't been paying too much attention, so you might have seen some others. But anyway, that's what that is, I believe, unless that's just a set I'm not recognizing right now. With the Wing Splicer, the Plague Spitter. Wow, what a weird creature. The Corpse Connoisseur right there from the Lara block. Mad Ratter. Goblin Crater Maker. Into greens, Land Grant. Silverglade Pathfinder. It's a multicolored, or in this case, common land. Sunlit Marsh, great artwork. To the rare mythic. Just a Path of Discovery there. Good for Explorer decks, I suppose. Don't think it's worth anything. White border. Preordain. Cool. It's a card I play a lot of. It's a decent blue card. With the white border, looks pretty cool. And the Future Sight card, Demonic Consultation. Oh, that poor rabbit. He's not going to be happy after whatever spell is being cast goes off. Uncommon there in the Future Sight frame. Looks very cool. And the playtest card, Avacyn's Collar, the symbol of a church. 1 white. Quick creature can't attack, block, or transform, and its activated abilities can't be activated. Shackle. You can attach it to a creature you don't control as a sorcery. So Shackle is attached, but only to things you don't control. And it's basically a pacifism with extra steps and more mana, but it's an artifact equipment instead of an enchantment. So there you go. Again, very interesting. And we keep moving on. Get that all a little organized on the left. And rip right into the next one. Alright, a nice pile of wrappers building up there. Planar Disruption. Splendor Mare from Ixalan. Cool artwork. Vidalian Hypnotist. Sign of Glaciers. Steel Strength. Incremental Blight. Sticky Fingers. Scrapwork Mutt. Which again, this appeared in the red slot, even though it's an artifact, I guess because it has red in the rules text. I guess that can happen. Into greens, Invigorating Surge. Return to Nature. Multicolored. Trigon Predator. Rare Mythic. Consuming Aberration. Cool. White border. Once Upon a Time. Nice. I believe this card sees play. I know it used to, at least in standard limited formats. I don't know if it's any good in Eternal, but very flavorful Eldraine card with the white border. Pretty cool. And the Future Sight. Ooh, wow, cool. Death Shadow in the Future Sight frame. I think it's the same artwork from the regular card, but that's a card that has seen play, certainly, in a lot of decks. 1 black for a 13/13, but it gets -X/-X, where it's your life total. I know there's ways to cheese out low life on turn 1, and then you just get this thing on the field, and it is huge turn 1. Otherwise, if you draw it late in the game when your life is low, that's a big hitter for 1 mana. Very, very cool. And then the playtest card we'll look at for fun. Arcanum Things, 1 white. Equipped creature has flying. Equip 2, or you could pay 3 to exchange it with an equipment card in your hand. If this equipment was attached to a creature, attach equipment to that new creature. Pretty cool. So, you know, give your creature flying for 4 mana, basically. Not very good, but the fact that you could then pay 3 and attach, you know, the most expensive equipment card in the game directly to your creature, that could be pretty cool. It's an interesting idea. You know, seeing definitely a lot of interesting ideas on these playtest cards. And again, right into the next pack. So, again, haven't been counting. I think we're about halfway through. I know I just said that a few packs ago, but I just feel like we're still about halfway through. So really hoping for one of those, like, 1% acorn hits, you know, something like that. Some really, really crazy rare card. But even if not, I just think it's cool to see all these reprints and unique new art styles and all this kind of stuff. It's just fun, you know? It's almost not even about the value here. It's just a fun product. I wanted to see it. We'll get them all organized, sleeve up, anything that's really cool. Get the rest nice and sorted, and just have like a really cool collection. Could turn this into a cube and just draft it over and over too, you know? So that's a good way to get some value out of it, since I'm not actually drafting it right now, just opening it, turn it into a cube, draft it as much as you want. As we go into the rare, Heroic got a victory. Interesting, what is, because I thought he was from the main set, but it has the, was that the commander symbol? I'm a little confused on that, but it's a card I know I've pulled before. One of the mythic rare god cards, dual color one. Pretty cool. And the white border. Ooh, Mishra's Bauble in a white border. Very interesting. Looks really good. I like that a lot. And the future sight. Oh, dope. Wow. A Pact of Negation future sight frame. That's a card, again, that has value. I don't know what this unique art style with the Mystery Booster symbol is going for. I believe these cards are not technically playable in Eternal, even though it's a reprint of an existing card that may be. I could be wrong on that. I know I wrote it down somewhere, but I can't seem to find it in my notes. But anyway, that's a very good card. That's usually very expensive, so nice to get a copy of that. And then our playtest card we'll look at for fun. Sliver of Hope. Funny, play on words. I'm assuming it's a sliver. Yes, it is. 3 white. Slivers you control of hope. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to attacking creatures with hope. That's OP. Yeah, as if slivers weren't powerful enough, didn't have enough synergy. That one would be OP. So, kind of glad they didn't print that one. Can have a hard enough time dealing with slivers as it is. Okay, going into the next pack. Let me count here. 3, 4... 4, 8, 12, this is halfway. We've done half of it. This is the halfway mark. And we go through. This recording is almost an hour long. Once I edit it down a bit, it'll be a little bit shorter. This video is going to be like an hour-long video. Nobody's going to watch it. They're going to think, oh, cool, an hour-long video opening cool packs. Then they're going to hear me talk and be like, wow, why am I watching this? This stinks. Just show me the cards. So I'll do that now. Angelic Favor. Kami of False Hope. Sukata Firewalker, Windstorm Drake, Order of Midnight, there we go, in focus, Public Execution, creepy, Rapacious One, from one of those Eldrazi blocks, Skewer the Critics, into greens, Massive Might, Keen Sense, God, I do really like that Future Sight frame, not the new Future Sight frame, but just the base one, or is that Planar Chaos? I always forget. But anyway, cool looking frame. Into the multicolored, or the common land, in this case a Shimmerdrift Veil. Into the rare mythic. Just a Wake Thrasher. Nothing crazy there. Into the white border. Oh no! I spoiled it. Oh well. We'll see what it was in a second. Summoner's Pact. Cool. That's got some value, I think, right? Search your library for a green creature card, reveal it, put it in your hand, and shuffle, and pay 4 next turn or you lose the game. I think that's it. And that doesn't flip, does it? I know it has the green pip. I think that's just because it has a 0 cost. It needs the pip there to denote what color it is. I'm going to just check. Yeah, it doesn't flip. But white bordered Summoner's Pact, that's cool. And then there's something really cool here. Let's see what it was. Okay, so a Maddening Hex in foil. So again, these foils are in less than 5% of packs. Are these foil. Happens to be on a rare. I don't really recognize this card, to be honest with you, so I'm not sure if it has any value. And I'm not sure if the fact that it's in this like really rare frame printing in foil, which is even more rare, makes it worth anything. But very cool to see regardless. Was kind of hoping for a different foil, but cool to see. And then the playtest card we'll look at for fun. Lutri Pauper Otter, so a Lutri reprint potentially for 3 and 2 split mana. It is a companion. Your starting deck contains no cards with a silver, gold, orange, or purple expansion symbol. When he enters the battlefield, discard your hand and draw 3 cards. So, oh, because it's Pauper. So you can only have commons. No uncommons, rares, mythic rares, which I suppose are officially orange, not red, for those of you who've ever debated that. Or purple, which would be the time-shifted reprint cards or whatever. So you have to have commons only in your deck, and then you could pay 3 to put it into your hand, and then you can discard your hand and draw 3 cards for his mana cost later. Funny, Pauper-only card. I know over the years they've, really shifted to Commander. That used to be kind of an obscure thing. People would use just regular cards and make them work in Commander. Now they make cards specifically for Commander. Pauper's certainly seen quite a rise in popularity in recent years. So it would be interesting to see if they actually design Pauper-specific cards going forward. And that is maybe what they're toying with there with that idea. But we'll go through again the next pack. Skycrier, Tormented Angel, beautiful. Cloud Spirit for the blue. Miscalculation for the other blue. Liliana's Devotee. Moan of the Unhallowed. First Day of Class. Bronze Plate Boar. One with Nature. Garruk's Pack Leader. Into the Cavern Harpy for our multicolored. And then our rare mythic. Come on. Okay, so we get a mythic. Creepy Spider. Thantis the Warweaver from some Commander set, I believe. I'm not up on all those set symbols, but that's a mythic rare. Kind of cool. And then the white border. Ooh, oh, cool. Comet Stellar Pup. So this is a white-bordered Planeswalker. I'm not going to read this one because that's a lot of words. You can pause and read that if you'd like. I saw this one in the previews. I'm assuming that's from Infinity, but I don't actually recognize it. Weird seeing the Commander frame in the white border where it kind of cuts off. Same with the legendary creatures in the white border if we get one of those, I've noticed. But pretty cool, pretty unique, very interesting. And the Future Sight. Equilibrium. Interesting blue card there in the Future Sight frame that is a rare, pretty cool. And the constructed card is a Knight of Lost Causes, 2 white, Vigilance. As long as you are way behind, it gets +3/+3 and is indestructible. You are way behind if at any point during this turn an opponent had 10 or more life than you, controlled at least 3 more creatures than you, or had at least 3 more cards in hand than you. That's a very cool effect. Way behind. If they added that into the game somehow, I feel like that would be a fun way, to help keep people in matches when they feel like they're losing, to, maybe turn the tide. But I feel like there'd also be ways to cheese it, some spell that gives your opponent 3 creature tokens real quick, and then it buffs all your creatures. So you could technically be ahead, but then become way behind and put yourself even more ahead. So maybe that's why they haven't made it a thing. But interesting idea. Maybe it would be cooler if it was like all 3 of those criterias were met, because in that case you probably are really way behind. But pretty interesting. 2 mana for a 2/2. Not for constructed play. There you go. All right, pretty cool. And keep moving on here, a little more than halfway through. So we'll do this pack, and then I think what I'm going to do is actually split the recording, just because I don't want the file sizes to get too large. They can sometimes become a little more unmanageable. This recording is almost an hour long at this point, but I promise you I won't screw with the packs or anything. I'll leave everything exactly as it was, but let's rip through this one. The Alharu Solemn Ritualist, the Angelic Page with that old artwork that they don't really do anymore, Nephalia Smuggler, Invisible Stalker, indeed an invisible man. Thirsting Bloodlord right there. Vindictive Vampire. Volcanic Geyser. Boarding Party. Argothian Elder. Last green. Iwamori of the Open Fist into the multicolored artifact or land. Ooh, Quicksand. Not really worth anything, I don't think, but again, I just love those old frames, and just like opening it from a pack in modern day is just so cool to me. But we'll see what our rare mythic is. Balance. Okay, so each player chooses a number of lands he or she controls equal to the number of lands controlled by the player who controls the fewest, and then sacrifices the rest. Players discard cards and sacrifice creatures the same way. So that is, what? This Iconic Masters, I think? It's one of the Masters sets. Mythic Rare, very cool. Not sure the value on it. Interesting. And let's see the white border. Paradoxical Outcome is a rare white border, which is cool to see. Not sure really anything about that card or its value, but interesting. And the Future Sight, uncommon Triumph of Ferocity with Garruk there. Pretty cool. And then the playtest card, Jeskai Baller, playing some basketball there. 2 white, when you cast this spell, create a 1/1 white athlete creature token, and I see the joke. It has Rebound. If you cast the spell from your hand, exile it as it resolves. At the beginning of your next upkeep, you may cast this card from exile without paying its mana cost. So that is the just, rebound mechanic that's already in the game on cards, but they're making a joke because rebound is a basketball term, and it is a basketball card because it is a baller and it is an athlete. So there you go. Over-explain that just in case you don't get American basketball references, I suppose. So that's funny. Just a little bit of a pun because it has the rebound effect. And what I will do is just split the recording here. We'll turn it into 2. I'm not going to touch anything. I'm just going to leave it all, and I'll be right back. Okie doke. So pressing on here. Probably could have just made that cut without even saying anything, and nobody would have noticed, but just wanted to be transparent, explain why you may have seen a jump, and we'll keep going here. So, again, ripping through these, we got Slaughter of the Strong, a Griffin Guide, an Unsubstantiate, an Exhaustion. Love the old frames. Portal cards, very cool. Twisted Abomination, Morbid Opportunist. A Fire Imp, again, Portal. Twinferno, right there from Dominaria. Wirewood Channeler, card I used to play back in the day in my elf deck. Fangren Marauder into the, in this case, Artifact, colorless card, reprint, into the rare mythic. Chainer Nightmare Adept, cool card from Modern Horizons 2 for our rare. And then Thopter Foundry, white border, pretty cool card. Again, not sure the value or how much play it really even sees, but it's a cool card that can synergize well in some pretty cool decks. And then our Future Sight, Mana Short, rare. There you go, pretty cool looking. And then, okay, oh, cool. So again, you can see on the edge there, they show, like, if they were to print this card, what it would look like, which makes me think they must have, like, actually made the card and then just slapped this over it, unless they really only designed the edges once they knew what the middle was going to be. But anyway, we do get Ren and Seri Inseparabler, so inseparable, but even more so. All cats you control are dogs in addition to their other types. Is that even in focus? All dogs are cats, and cats and dogs you control have haste. So, cool. Interesting mana cost. I don't remember the exact printing of the card that this is based on, the Ren and Seri, but, for cats and dog tribal decks, this one would be pretty cool. Give a little more synergy where cats can give dogs effects and dogs can give cats effects. That would be a pretty cool card. It would just be a little bit hard to explain how they were combined in this way, like cat dog there. Some scientific experiment gone awry, perhaps, but pretty cool. It'd be a cool commander card, I guess. It is a legendary, so you could use it for that. And we'll keep going. Now, I don't want to jinx it, but we've been pretty lucky about getting duplicates of the playtest cards. I've heard that the seedings for this is a little interesting. People who got multiple boxes are saying, like, the 2 boxes were almost identical. But at least we're not getting a ton of duplicates of those cool, like, Future Sight cards and white border cards and all that kind of stuff. That would be a little disappointing. As far as the rest of this goes, these are all, for the most part, just cheap reprints that are just interesting to see and make for a good draft environment. There's the Wicked Pact, which again has that, I believe, Magic Online symbol. Ogre Arsonist, Fanatic of Mogus, Incremental Growth for the green, Master's Rebuke, into colorless or multicolored or land, we get multicolored Ancient Lumberknot, into the rare mythic, come on. Okay, Dothy Voidwalker from Modern Horizons 2. I think that's just a bulk rare, but that's interesting. And the white border. Ghost Quarter, nice. So that card sees play. It's just an uncommon, but cool looking in that white border, man. I know I've said that 30 times by now, but just really, really cool. And then the Future Sight slot. Cabal Ritual. a slightly worse Dark Ritual, but with some upside because of Threshold. So pretty cool, common in the Future Sight frame. And the playtest card is a Panglacial Shinobi. 2 blue, Library Ninjutsu, blue 1. Shuffle an unblocked attacker you control into its library. Put this card onto the battlefield from your library, tapped and attacking. Activate only while searching your library. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So interesting. It's like ninjutsu, except instead of going back in your hand, it has to go back into your library. And you have to be searching your library to do this. So you'd have to declare attacks. I mean, it's blue, so it'll fit in with a lot of the blue cards. Let you search your library for something. And then you could ninjutsu, so it'd have to be on the stack. Seems kind of convoluted, extra steps with not a lot of upside. So I'm not sure that that's a card that would be very good if it was printed, but it is an interesting idea. And we'll keep going here, getting to the end. And we do still have those Collector's Boosters 2 to open. I don't know why this one's hard to open. And then, you know, I will scan all these cards in. I don't know if prices are even going to show up on the pricing app that I use, but be interesting to see if we got any good hits and what the total value of the box was. So we go through the reprints here with Basri's Solidarity, Imposter of the Sixth Pride, Expel from Oraska, Tide Skimmer, Fleshbag Marauder, creepy dude, Grim Bounty, into Reds, Convulsing Lissid, Needle Drop, Overgrowth, Grizzly Fate with actual grizzly bears, and the, in this case, Artifact Containment Construct into the Rare Mythic, Archivist of Ogma into White Border, Thought Vessel. You have no maximum hand size, and you can add 1 for 2. Interesting card in the White Border. Pretty cool. And the Future Sight. Ooh, Show and Tell Mythic Rare. Each player may put an artifact, creature, enchantment, or land card from the hand onto the battlefield for 3. Could be a good card. If your opponent has no cards in their hand and you play this, you can get a much more expensive card for only 3. Not sure the value, but pretty cool. And the fun playtest card, Processing Plant with some Eldrazi there. Who's that? Ulamog and Kozilek? Something like that. Ulamog's Power Plant enters the battlefield tapped. When it enters the battlefield, you may put a card an opponent owns from exile into that player's graveyard. If you do, untap it. Otherwise, exile the top card of each library. And you can add a multitude of colors by tapping it. So, pretty nice mana. You know, basically a 4 or 3.5 colored land, and it could come in untapped if you move a card from exile into the graveyard, which could be a, you know, a drawback, which is where it balances out the extra colors for it coming in untapped, but could also be useful if you have a lot of graveyard interaction, and it could even be good to let it come in untapped and exile something if you have some type of exile interaction. So it'd be an interesting card. Seems pretty niche, but you know, could definitely help out in some decks with that you know, extra access to different colored mana. So if they ever make anything like that, it'd be pretty interesting. And we'll keep plowing ahead here. Going right into the next pack with the Recumbent Bliss, Boonweaver Giant, Cerulean Wisps, Ophidian Eye, Diabolic Tutor, Wall of Blood, Grab the Reins, back Mirrodin cards, Reckless Impulse, Greens, Findhorn Elves, Elvish Harbinger. Interesting set symbol there. I don't recognize that one, to be honest with you. Into the multicolored artifact, we get Planner Atlas from Jumpstart. Rare Mythic. Okay, Elsha of the Infinite from... That's one of the Masters sets. I don't know why I can't recognize which one is which right now, but interesting rare, not a lot of value, I don't think. White Border. Oh, Ponder. Nice. That's one I wanted. I love this card. I love this artwork too in the White Border. It's just unique, a new printing of Ponder. Very, very cool. And the Future Sight slot. We get a Relic of Progenitus in the Future Sight frame. Just a common, but pretty interesting. And the playtest card is Halving Season. So doubling season, but it's 4 black. If an opponent would create 1 or more tokens, they create half, rounded down. And if they would put 1 or more counters on a permanent or player, they put half, rounded down. So it's literally just doubling season, but with half. I think there are some cards that have that effect kind of baked in. But for a 5-mana enchantment, you could get a black version of doubling season. That would be interesting, certainly, as well. And what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 packs left. So, got one foil, which I hear is typical for these boxes. We'll see if we can hit another or anything else crazy as we go with the Sunscape Familiar, the Master Splicer, the Dakra Mystic, the Sejiri Merfolk, Essence Extraction, Heartless Act, Frenzied Fugue, Falkenrath Celebrants, Gamekeeper, last screen, Challenger Troll, Elfane Palace for our land, and then the rare mythic. Oh, cool. Just a random Sorin. It's a reprint, but it's a mythic rare Planeswalker that you just randomly pulled. I don't think this is the Sorin that has a lot of value, but just cool to get a mythic Planeswalker from a pack. There you go. And the white border. Minsk and Boo, Timeless Hero. Speaking of Planeswalker, mythic rare in the white border. Is that in focus? Everyone can see it. Good. And we'll move on to the Future Sight slot. Okay, Contamination, rare this time. Again, 60% of the time, rare mythic in the Future Sight frame. Don't know much about that card, but interesting to see. And the playtest is a Lazotep Archway. Enters tapped, you could add white or black, and you can eternalize it, which means exile it from your graveyard, create a token that's a copy, except it's a 4/4 black zombie and loses all their card types. Do it only as a sorcery, and don't forget it still enters tapped. So it'd be an interesting land cycle. That seems like something they were maybe going to do in one of the Amonkhet sets and just never did. So that is the playtest card for that. And going to the next pack, and there's just 1, 2, 3 left. Plus those collector's boosters, plus a look at the prices, if you would like to stick around for that. So, Jesus, destroy that pack, that's okay. We got plenty of other wrappers to play around with if we really want to. Alrighty, so Abzan Battle Priest, Angel of Vitality, Dreamscape Artist, Kelpie Guy, Virtue's Ruin. God, love these old cards. Look so much better, I think. Stupor, speaking of which. Crimson Wisps, Dwarven Hammer, Fortifying Draft, Sky Shroud Claim, and the multicolored or colorless is a Heartstone, rare mythic Gemo. Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Is that what I'm thinking of? Yeah, that card sees play in mill decks, I believe. I've seen that recently, as a matter of fact. Not sure the value, but that is a card that people play. And then, white-bordered Seed Time. Interesting. So rare for 2 mana, cast this spell only during your turn, take an extra turn after this one if an opponent cast a blue spell this turn. So nice sideboard card for green decks, I guess. Cool artwork in the white border, just a cool looking card. And then the Future Sight, just a Winds of Change uncommon there with the artwork. And new Master of Arms. Okay, so 2 white, first strike, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt by blocking creatures that are tapped. Tap target creature blocking new Master of Arms. All right, interesting. 3 mana for a 2/2 with first strike, and after people declare blockers, you can then go ahead and pay 2 to tap it, and then it will not attack you back when it blocks, and you have first strike. So, interesting. I guess there's probably a card called Master of Arms that does something very similar that I am just not aware of at the moment, so maybe I'm missing the pun on that one, but last 3 packs here. Really hoping for something crazy. Not that we haven't already had a bunch of crazy stuff, but let's see what we can get with the last couple here. So, Bond of Discipline, Shepherd of the Flock, Frost Trickster, Killer Whale. I love that card. I don't know why, but back in the day, I just really loved this card. I thought it was cool, and all the copies I have are so old and scratched up. To have like a fresh printing of that is just so cool. Deepwood Legat, Fell Spectre, Charging Tuscadon, Goblin Matron, Heart Warden, last one, Harvester Druid, multicolored, Dorgar Hedge Mage, and the rare Witch of the Moors from Jumpstart right there. Interesting. White border, Deafening Silence, which I think might see some play, more of a sideboard card, but interesting. And then the Future Sight, Ruination for land destruction decks. pretty over budgeted with 4 mana, but you can definitely screw up a lot of multicolored decks that are running a lot of non-basic lands. Rare in the Future Sight frame. And the playtest card is Maestros' Totally Safe Hideout. Has land casualty 2. As it enters, you may sacrifice a creature with power 2 or greater. If you do, create a token that's a copy of this land. It enters the battlefield tapped, and you could add 3. So you can get 2 lands for this and a creature, and it has nice color combination there for multicolored decks. Could be a good card, kind of interesting. Play around with like sacrificing creatures to get more mana. Not sure that they actually have cards like that, but interesting idea to play with. And we'll crack through the last 2 here. Come on. Maybe we get some last pack magic with that one, but we'll see what's in the second to last one. Genju of the Fields, one of the Genjus from Kamigawa block. Benevolent Bodyguard there. Suit up. Shifting Sliver, another Sliver. Cool. Some of these needed reprints. I don't know about this one, but just cool that they're kind of back in the rotation. Corpse Augur. Scourge Familiar. Jaya, Venerated Fire Mage, one of the little uncommon planeswalkers there. Interesting to see. Firebelly Changeling, a shapeshifter. Greens, we get Compost and Prize Fight. And then our multicolored or artifact or land is a Frost Marsh, even, uncommon land. And the rare. Okay, Shuya and the Silent Tempest, white border. Veil of Summer, uncommon. I think that's a sideboard card in quite a few decks, depending on who you're going up against, so that could be interesting. And the Future Sight, Standstill, uncommon. I've actually played that card before, so interesting in the Future Sight frame. And the constructed card, Under Construction Skyscraper. It's a land. You could level it up for 1. You could tap it to add 1. 1 through 7, you add more colors. If you get it all the way up to 8, you add the same colors, but you also scry 1. Again, interesting idea to play with, where you could level up a land. If you have extra mana available at the end of a turn, you can just dump it into this land, and then eventually you can add in a scry effect if you end up with a lot of extra mana. Or for what is essentially 2 mana, you can then have it add, is that Abzan colors in addition to the colorless? So it's kind of a cool idea. I feel like that could be cool to play around with. And we got 1 pack left. Hoping for an Acorn Foil or something. Let's see what we get. And I will use this as an opportunity to just kind of go over my thoughts about what we've seen so far. Wax on a little bit too long about some of this stuff, but just get my thoughts out here for anyone who may be curious. So we'll go through the commons and uncommons here. Again, I think it's just very cool to see just this random assortment of cards. You can just get so many different things. Some good value, some no value. Interesting to see the new frame and the old frame next to each other. Just over 1,000 cards, so really you could get anything. And just the randomness is just really cool to like re-see some of these cards or see some new cards. The card quality is pretty good too. Sometimes depending on the print run, the cards just feel really different. Some are like feel really glossy, some feel really thin, some feel thicker. Just feel about average. So I do wonder how they did the print run for this to get these sheets of just these like thousands of randomized cards. And it'll be interesting too to scan all these in, hoping that my pricing app will have an option for the actual mystery booster set. And I know that the prices, if they're even there, are going to change dramatically. But even just comparing, you know, like this Tangle to the base printing to see what the value of the base printing is, it'll be interesting to see how much value's here. Because some of these uncommons and commons can actually have some value, especially from these older sets that haven't seen reprints in a while that do see play. Although a lot of them are obviously just junk, just bulk. And we do get a multicolored card, which again has that set symbol that I believe was exclusive to Magic the Gathering Online previously. So that's what you get for all those commons and uncommons. And then we get our rare mythic, which is a Bone Crusher Giant. That's a card that sees play too, which again, this rare and mythic slot's really interesting. Same thing with the commons and uncommons, where it could just be anything. So like the variety is really, really cool to see. And it could be hit or miss. Could be great value, could be bulk rare with no value. But it's been very interesting just to see this crazy assortment of rares from all various sets over, I think, 19 plus years worth of sets is where these cards are from. And then we'll go into our white border, which is a, what the, oh, Cabal Coffers. Nice. Uncommon, white border. That's a very good card that sees play. So that's cool. Again, these white border cards, I think more than anything, it's just cool to see like white border cards again, because those haven't been a thing since what, like 8th edition, I think. So just really unique, and then especially to see like reprints of cards that in a white border is just very, very unique, and then sometimes you get these really good hits. So that's a very cool slot. And the future sight slot, Maddening Hex. That was our foil that we got before. This is the non-foil version. So I did not get in this box anyway any of the Acorn Alchemy cards, which I think all those are going to be worth a lot of money, potentially hundreds of dollars. But it's only in 1% of booster packs, so you're not going to get one in every box. So we didn't get to see that, but it is cool. Again, same thing as the white border, just to see cards that in a new frame, in a new style, with new artwork. Yeah, sometimes you get a rare, sometimes you get an uncommon. Sometimes they're worth more, sometimes they're worth less, but they're all pretty cool to see. So, cool, unique thing with this mystery booster. And the last slot, Hish of the Snake Cult. So 2 black, green, blue. Nagas and serpents you control are snakes. We'll errata this to be true. Snakes you control have Daunt, Death Touch, and Poisonous 2. Daunt can't be blocked by creatures of power 2 or less. And Poisonous just they get 2 poison counters. Okay, so Poisonous is just infect, but a lot of snakes are poisonous and not venomous, because the difference is, I used to know this. I think it's poisonous if you ingest it, and it's venomous if it is to the touch or biting you. I don't remember. I should look that up, but anyway, there is a subtle distinction between whether something is poisonous or venomous, which I used to know. So maybe that's a reference to that, because as far as I could tell, poisonous is just infect. And then it is Daunt, and they're errata-ing that they have Nagas and serpents, but those aren't snakes, even though they probably should have been for Snake Tribal. So, funny idea there, and that's kind of the thing with these playtest cards. Again, if you were able to get your hands on a lot of these and actually like build a deck with them, could be fun for tabletop play. But they are not legal, but they are fun to see. Interesting ideas, kind of makes your brain work, and it'll be interesting to see if they do end up making cards like this in the future. I know from Mystery Booster 1, a lot of those cards did end up getting made into actual cards. And it is interesting, too, to see the frame. So, you can see the legendary modern frame. Some of them had the old frame poking through. So it would be interesting to see what the actual card looked like underneath as well. But just kind of a fun thing. So we'll set that to the side. And then we have a couple more things to do here still. So yeah, this is going to be really long, but I guess there's basically 2 things I'm going to do before the prices. So one is these collector's boosters. I do want to open them, let you see them. And the second thing is just going to do a recap of all the kind of white border and rares and stuff. But I think we'll start here. So let me go ahead, and I think we'll just start with Lost Caverns of Ixalan. So I'll crack this open. Shoot, I did have my little pack breakdown pulled up, and I lost it, but I just found it again. So we'll just go through these, see what we get. This is obviously, as far as a value add goes, going to vary wildly depending on what you pull. But I mean, hey man, if you get some like crazy serialized card or just something cool from one of these, that could add a lot of value to the box, even though it's going to be really inconsistent and hard to get a read on how much value it adds. Now this I've opened before on my channel. There's a whole collector's booster box unboxing, so I'm fairly familiar with this. So we do get the double-face token on the back, Vampire Demon there. And then we'll go through, so I believe it's 4 foil commons, the Family Reunion, the Rumbling Rock Slide, the Frilled Cave Worm, and the Glorifier of Suffering. And then it should be 3 uncommons next, so Akawali the Seething Tower, Ixali's Lore Keeper, Calamitous Cave-In, and then I'm not sure the order of what's going on back here, but there's going to be a Showcase Borderless or the Land, so this is the poster art, full art land, and then the Showcase, yep, so Earthshaker Dreadmaw in foil, Showcase, Borderless right there, in the foil, looking pretty cool. And then there should be a traditional foil rare mythic back here. Yep. So Jadelight Spelunker in this case. Card for that Explore deck there. And then there's going to be a non-foil extended art rare mythic. So Preacher of the Schism, not one of the big hits from this set, but there you go. And then there should be a foil or non-foil commander card. Yep, so that's Commander. Alenda's Hierophant there. Not sure the value on that, but we'll find out later. And then a non-foil Showcase or Borderless rare mythic. Oh, cool. Skullspore Nexus. So that's a mythic rare. Ooh, and I forget the name of this art style, but that's one of the special art treatments from Lost Caverns of Ixalan. So pretty cool card. Not sure the value, but I definitely didn't pull one of those before. So that's kind of cool to get, I guess, in addition to everything else. And then our crazy slots. It's going to be a Jurassic World card. It's usually a land. Yep. It could not be a land, and that's where the value is. You mostly get lands in these boosters, but the lands are still cool. And then your crazy, crazy slot. That could be Cosmium Ink, could be Mana Crypt. What do we get? Oh, whoa. So that is a Starving Revenant borderless rare. Don't think that has a lot of value, but look at that foiling. It just pops. That looks great. I was really just hoping for like a Mana Crypt. Could you imagine? That would make this whole box worth it. But that's cool to see. And then the other side of our token, so Vampire and Vampire Demon. Those are the tokens. All right, so that's one collector's booster pack that comes with this. Again, you could really get anything in those that is possible to get from a collector's booster of that set. So it could be a ton of value, could be none. I have not opened Wilds of Eldraine collectors, actually. This pack feels really loose. Again, I'm wondering where they got these packs from, if they just had extra packs lying around. I don't think they would have printed them fresh. Wow, that's like really hard to open. Sometimes, I know these collector's packs are usually a lot harder to open, but sometimes you just gotta get the angle right. But this one is just not opening. I'm putting a lot of force onto that. So we'll just do like this. I'd kind of like to keep the... Oops. Oh well. I was going to say, I'd kind of like to keep the wrap intact. Just to have one, because it looks cool. But that's not going to happen at this point, so... Alright. Go with this. Go like that. Food token. Oh yeah, these are in reverse order, which they started doing at some point. I think the Japanese print facility does that. Someone in the comments was telling me. But let me just pull up real quick the collecting article. So again, I've not opened these. I can already see that it's in reverse order, but we do get our double face token, which is going to be a foil food, which will flip into the, wow, elemental foil token. Again, that foiling looks so cool. And then so it's going to be, I guess we're going in reverse order here. It's going to be a foil alt frame or confetti foil. That's where the money is. What do we get? Okay, so just a Sleep Cursed Fairy. That is the alt frame. That is extended art in foil. Nothing crazy there. Not a lot of good value. And then I guess if we're going backwards, it should be a non-foil Enchanted Tales rare mythic. Yep. So Karmic Justice rare. That anime art style. Borderless. Pretty interesting. I'm not a huge fan of the anime art style. That's why I didn't really get one of these collector's boxes when they came out. But if you like them, then they're very cool. So you get to see that. And then we should have a non-foil Showcase or Borderless rare mythic. Ooh, Virtue of Loyalty mythic in that Showcase style. That I do like. Not sure the value on that one, but I think that's one of the ones that sees play. I could be wrong, but nice little mythic rare add along with the rest of this box. Then there's going to be a traditional foil or non-foil extended art rare mythic. So that is a Nettling Nuisance, which must be from the Commander set because of that set symbol. And that is a rare extended art. And rare mythic foil. Elvish Archivist, just a regular rare, but in foil, pretty cool. And then should be a foil Enchanting Tales uncommon. Season of Growth, wow, again, the foiling. If I can get the camera to pick it up just right, it really pops. So cool to see, not a lot of value, I don't think, just an uncommon. And then a non-foil Enchanted Tales uncommon, okay, Season of Growth. So we get two, one foil, one non-foil, you can see the difference there. Whoops. There you go. And then I think it's just, yeah, our special land in foil, which I did order those because I like to collect full art lands. And then I'm assuming just uncommons and commons. So Witchstalker's Frenzy, Ariet's Tempting Apple, using a lot of the promo material for this set. Shrey of the Nibbling Depths, and then what are we into commons already? Probably 4 of them. Yep, Troublemaker Oofy. Obira's Attendance. Yep, Obira's Attendance. Break the Spell. Wow, foiling looks cool on that one too. Cameras doesn't really pick it up the same way that I see it, but looks cool. And the last common, Bespoke Battle Garb. There you go. Okay, so you get one of those packs too. first time opening one of those, so yeah, you can get like the crazy slot, the anime cards, the special frame cards, more rares, get a lot of rares, a lot of mythics, the special treatments, and then just like a bunch of junk foils that are worth nothing. So, alright, interesting to see. Probably took a little too long on that. Most of you probably know what are in those packs, but I didn't, so I wanted to look at it. And then we get one Commander's Master pack, which I have not opened any Commander's Masters. So I'm going to pull up the collecting article real quick here. And again, I know that there are some really, really good hits in this set. I don't think we're going to get one just out of one booster, but you never know. Could get like a textured foil, something really, really crazy. We will see. Just show you the pack, because again, I've never opened one of these. Wow, look at the extra foiling there. Pretty premium. I know these were really expensive when they came out, the collector's booster boxes. And it just didn't seem like you were really going to get your value unless you got a big chase hit is part of the reason I didn't actually pick up one of these. And look, too, the inside has that really cool kind of shattered glass foiling effect on it. So that's cool to see, because I haven't seen this before. And if you have, you're probably bored out of your mind. But we do get our double face token, so it's a construct. I can flip that, yep. Flip that to an elemental in the back. There you go, in foil and focus, hopefully nice and shiny. All right, and then we'll go through the packs. These are a lot of reprints, new, kind of new to Commander or Commander versions of cards that existed. So it should be 4 traditional foil commons, according to this. You get a Carrying Grub after the Myr, Goliath Sphinx. There you go. Abundant Harvest right there. Shirei, Shizo's Caretaker. We're already into uncommons. Okay, so that's, oh yeah, 4 commons and then 2 uncommons. So 1 and 2. Tetsuka Uezama, Fugitive. Then it should be a non-foil borderless common or uncommon. Oh no, we get the land. So beautiful retro frame lands in foil in these collector's boosters. I did order all of these just to have a complete set. They're very nice. Now it should be that, yep, borderless Vandal Blast, uncommon. Not sure why I'm shaking it, it's not foil. Should be another one. Whoa, okay, making a mess. Natier's Nightblade, right there. Cool artwork. Borderless common. Then a foil of the same thing, I believe, because I just saw that. Yep, so Commander Sphere in foil. Cool. Commander card in foil with great artwork on it. Now, there's other stuff back here. I'm not sure the order, but it's probably a traditional foil rare or mythic. Yep, so just a rare, Divergent Transformations, nothing crazy going on there. Then there's going to be a foil or non-foil extended or rare mythic. Oh, cool. So we get foil etched Hammer of Nizan. Don't think that is value, but it is a rare in the foil etched. Hard to see unless you got the lighting just right, but if you like those cards, they're quite cool. So that's another rare. And then, okay, there's a guaranteed foil etched rare mythic in these, so there's probably another extended art rare mythic back here. Yep, so that's the Gatewatch Beacon for the other rare. And then I have no idea what's coming up, but there's like crazy borderless foil or textured foil slots somewhere back here. This might be it. Okay, so Morophon the Boundless. I forget what they call this. I think it's like a profile style. And again, I've seen this before with these cards because they've used this art style in other sets. It's not foil, but it looks foil. See how it's shiny like that when the light hits it? Interesting. So that's a mythic rare. Don't think that one has good value, but cool to see. And then the crazy slot, I assume, is what's left. Okay, so Regal Behemoth. That's borderless foil rare. Regal Behemoth. I don't think that's a good one. Nice. You see how the actual Triceratops kind of mantle there is matte, and then the rest is foil. Can't quite pick that up, but I like when they do that with cards. Gives it more depth. And I think it's just the token back here. Yeah, Construct. That we already saw. And the Elemental. Okay, so nothing crazy from that pack. That's my first time opening a Commander's Master pack. So, you know, your junk commons and uncommons, the cool land, and then some nice, like, extended commons, foil extended, rares, foil etched extended, and then your 2 cool slots at the end where you can get the really big value pulls. But, okay, so nothing crazy from any of these collector's boosters, I don't think, but just wanted to open them as a little bonus at the end. We'll let people see what that's all about. And then I'll do one more thing here. So this is the stack of the like special stuff that we got. So just the rare, again, which are just totally random, but the really special stuff is the white border, the playtest card, and the future sight, which I believe go in that order in the packs. So if I did this correctly, I can just go like this and lay them all out. So I'm going to do that real quick. Okay, so we did get the one foil, the Maddening Hex. Really, there's a lot of other future sight cards in the foil that would have been worth like a ton if I had gotten one, but we got this one. Don't think that's worth a lot, but we got the one foil in the whole box. And then this is the stack of rares or mythics. I didn't organize them, sort them between rares or mythics. I'm not going to go through them all. Just, you know, wanted you to see, kind of, you just get this big block of rares and mythics from random sets. Some of them good, other ones just bulk. So just kind of interesting, just get this weird random assortment. And then the really cool stuff, though, is the white border, which are all kind of new and unique, which again, not going to like go through every one, but just, you know, get these rares. They even have a little stamp on the bottom if they're like a modern card. Some of them have, this is my favorite card that we pulled. I know it's just a snow-covered island, but it's just gorgeous and I love it. So, you know, some have the old frames. They have different, you know, enchanted frames, you know, based on what set they're from. They kind of have that frame, but then they have the white border, ghost quarter, whoops. So just cool. Love that ponder too. Just cool to see. Cabal Coffers, Mardu Outriders, a new Eternal reprint that you can use in Eternal formats now. Just cool. So you get a bunch of those white bordered. It'll look weird in the collection, I think, with those little white borders poking through with all the new cards that have black bordered. And then the future sight frames, which again, same deal, just, you know, some really good cards. Ball Lightning's kind of cool. I know we got that Death Shadow, Pact to Negate. Like, those are great cards, and they're in these new future sight frames. So not sure what that's going to do to the value of the cards in the original printings or what these are worth as a reprint, but some really cool stuff and just, you know, cool, unique frame. That's kind of the theme of this mystery booster, is this new future sight look at cards, that and the white border. And then, of course, the playtest cards, which were from, you know, the first mystery booster as well. And a lot of the ones from the first mystery booster were eventually made into cards, maybe with like slight changes, but it's just cool to see, you know, what R&D is thinking and some interesting ideas for other cards. You know, the snake thing, the errata, a lot of jokes. The level up land was like a cool idea. Sacrificing creatures to empower your lands, halving season, different land ideas, different planeswalker ideas. New that I like that one. Hope, that would be a very powerful mechanic. Yeah, new mechanics, shackle instead of attach. Interesting stuff to see that if they eventually make that into actual cards. And then just funny cards, you know, the Flavor Disaster, that Jeskai Baller instead of Brawler maybe with the Athlete because it is rebound, stuff like that. So very cool and unique. So that's the stack of kind of fun cards. You can tell which ones are white bordered. Oops, not bend them. See? See that band right there? That's the white border. So like I was saying, that's going to be interesting to see in a stack, although I am going to sleeve them all. And then, again, these just commons and uncommons. You get two big old stacks of them. Some good stuff in there. I did recognize some nice hits. Again, not sure the value with them being reprints, if they're really worth as much as the original printing or not. But you get two big stacks of commons and uncommons. Again, not going to go through them all, but just cool to get these like random cards, things you've never thought about in the longest time. You get to see again, stuff you've never seen before, you get to see for the first time. Nice, clean, pack fresh copies of like these old cards that maybe you use, but you only have an old scratched up 20-year-old copy. All the different frames. Very cool. And I like they did two of each color in each pack. That's certainly going to help in like a draft environment, but it's also just nice to help with like duplicates and stuff. And then again, the commander, 3 commanders boosters right there. Could get some cool stuff, could get nothing. A lot of junk foils, but, you know, some cool cards there. And lastly, our special promo packs I showed hours ago at the very beginning, but, you know, the special non-foil promo pack that we saw at the start, and the special secret layer. Nice to see that these that have been out for a while have remained perfectly flat, as far as I can tell. No curling going on yet, so good quality control there. And there you go. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get all this organized, get it scanned into my pricing app that I use. Not sure if it's going to have prices for everything, and I'm sure that they're going to change really, really dramatically over the coming days and weeks and months, but I'm just curious to kind of get like a total value of this so that you could see if you were to pick one of these up on the secondary market, what you may or may not expect to get. It's going to vary so wildly because of the randomized nature of these thousands of cards that you could get, but at least you can see the prices of what's guaranteed and just get an idea of one example of what you may or may not get. So I'll be back with that in just a minute. Alrighty, so I am back. It is much later in the day, but I just wanted to add one other thing to this video, and that was a look at the prices. So this product in particular is pretty hard to price. The prices are incredibly volatile right now, as this is like a brand new product, and technically these are still pre-sale prices that we're looking at. In addition to that, these are very interesting cards, right? Some of them are not legal in all formats. A lot of them are reprints, but with alternate art styles, so who knows if they're worth more or less than the original printing. It's almost an exercise in futility to even look at this, but I'm just curious to take a snapshot at where things sit right now on September 22nd, 2024. And it is quite interesting to see. So I got these prices using the Delver Lens app, which is using TCG player market prices. Now, again, these market prices are all over the place. You look on the website on TCG player, you'll see a market price listed of, you know, $13, but then there's listings for $4. So the market price is going to shift a lot, especially as these get cracked in this coming week and more listings go up. Who knows if people are actually buying them at these prices? If not, the prices will go down. Some things may be in more demand. I did notice going through here, there's a lot of cards that this is the only reprint of this card ever. So if it's an in-demand card that sees play and people want to pick up another copy for a little bit cheaper, prices may actually creep up on some of these to meet the original printing's price. Now, with all that being said, we do have some prices here that we can take a look at, and we'll take a look at a few different things that I found interesting. So these are all the prices that we have. There were not prices on all of the cards, so we're going to take a look at some more specific things in a little bit, but I'll just scroll through here, let you see the full list of cards in case you were curious as I ramble a little bit more. So you can see at the top here, we did have some prices on some of these cards. Some of these are just from the collector's packs. This is everything all together, and you can see even some of these cards do have prices from the Mystery Booster 2 set, which is technically considered the list with that little Planeswalker stamp. Again, you know, the cards here from the collector's boosters, all that stuff, do have prices, but you'll see as soon as we get here, there's just no prices on anything. Now, I have gone and got maybe some comparable prices. I didn't pull the prices for all of these cards for the actual Mystery Booster 2 printing, because again, it's just incredibly volatile right now. It's going to change so much. So I thought what would be a better thing to look at would be to compare these cards to like their original printings with the same artwork. Certainly for the list cards, often the list cards are a little bit cheaper because they do have that Planeswalker symbol, but otherwise in appearance and functionality, they are the exact same card as the original printing. So I feel like that's a pretty good price comparison. Now, as far as the Future Sight and White Border cards go, those could be worth a lot more because they're really cool and unique, or they could be worth less for the same reason, because they're unique and they're not the original printing that people want. So, you know, all this stuff down here, there's just no prices right now. I'm sure this will update in a day or two, and I did consider waiting to see what these would update to get a better sense of the price. But I did want to get this video out as quickly as possible to let people see it while this product is still fresh and people might be curious about it, have a little bit of intrigue as to what the set is. Again, this is hours and hours later after I did the opening, but I think it was a really cool and fun set to see, so I just wanted to get that out to people. But you're seeing the full list of cards here with no prices, almost to the bottom. And then we'll take a look at some specific things, and I can give you a price total for what I think this box is worth, at least at current prices. So we get to the bottom here, and there we go. So let's look at this kind of in pieces. So the first thing that we're going to look at, I guess, would just be the collector's box. So that's here, the 3 collector's packs, excuse me. So again, what you get from these packs is totally randomized, but you do get the same 3 packs, the Lost Caverns of Ixalan, the Wilds of Eldraine, and the Commander Masters. And this is just what we happen to pull. So we did get a nice hit with that hammer, which I didn't realize was worth so much. The Morphon, you know, some good value cards here. Anything worth maybe more than $1 to $3 and maybe consider selling. Anything under here is basically going to be considered bulk. Doesn't really have to be included in this calculation. I could take a look at this with a filter filtering out cards that are worth less than $3 to get a more realistic price. No price on the tokens here. They do have a bit of value. And you know what? I guess even though this video is going to take so long to edit as it is, I am going to go ahead and do that. So we will just we'll keep the price source TCG market, but let's set a minimum price of just $1, and we'll go back to those 3 collectors packs. So we happen to get $50.19 worth of cards from $1 or more. Now maybe these $1 ones and $2 ones don't need to be included, but certainly anything more than $3 from the Skull Spore Nexus or up, I could probably sell those as a single, get close to that value. So, you know, maybe about $40 of added value from those collector's boosters. You may get a lot more, you may get a lot less, just depends on what you pull. So totally random, but just curious to see, you know, what that extra collector's pack added. And we'll take a look at some more things here. So here are the Future Sight cards. These are all 24 of the Future Sight cards that we pulled. Again, there are no prices here. Now, you could go on TCG Player, you could see what they're currently going for, but there is a pretty large disparity between the listed market price and what people are actually listing them for, so it's just going to change so much. So I thought a better thing to look at, just to get some idea, would be to look at the closest comp cards. So that's what should be on screen now here if future SIG's editing this a day or two from now remembers to do this. And what this is the cheapest available printing with the same artwork in most of these cases for every card that is worth more than $1. So some are not included because you can pick the card up for less than $1, and some of them did have unique artwork or artwork that I couldn't find. So those I may have used a slightly different artwork, but I pretty much went for the cheapest available functional reprint of this card with the same artwork. So again, you know, with these cool Future Sight frames, they may be worth more. They could be worth less. We don't know yet. But looking at these same cards with the same artwork, just in their original printing or the cheapest available printing with that artwork, did come out to $176.20, which is pretty good. So that's not necessarily what I would expect to get from selling these, but if I wanted to buy a functionally playable equivalent of Cabal Ritual with that artwork, with the usual frame, the original printing frame, not the Future Sight frame, I would have to pay, in this case, $23.25. And, you know, so all in all, pretty good value just for getting this random assortment of cards. I don't know why I would want these specific cards. They're not all ones that I would want to play, but just to collect, if I wanted to buy all these cards, you know, if I wanted to buy a Pact of Negation with that artwork, there's many different printings out there, but the cheapest one happens to go for about $14.75. So I would have otherwise had to have paid $14.75 to have a playable Pact of Negation. Instead, we got it included with this box. So that's what we happen to get. You will get a different value from your box based on what you open, but that's what we got. Similarly, I did want to look at the white border cards, which is the same thing. There's no prices on them here. As you can see, I'll just scroll through 24 white border cards. You can see it looks a little bit different with the white border. So the prices may be different. The white border may be worth more because it's rare and unique. It may be worth less because it's a reprint. But looking through using the cheapest available price with the same artwork, I didn't necessarily look at the set that it came from, because instead of having the set symbol, it has the mystery booster symbol over on the right there. And the set number you can see down on the bottom left is MB mystery booster. So I didn't care what set it was from, as long as it had the same frame minus the white border and the same artwork. I just picked the cheapest price possible, and that came out to $88.40 for these white bordered cards. So certain ones, like for example this Seed Time, if I could find it right there, there was only one printing of this card previously. I believe it was in Judgment, and in order to buy that version of Seed Time, buy Seed Time in Judgment, you have to pay about $15.98. Instead, we got this version of it with the white border, which again, I think looks cooler and is way more unique, so is probably worth more, but the market will dictate what the price is over time. But regardless, if I wanted one of these cards to play with, I'd have to pay about $16. Instead, we got it in this box. So using that, I added up all these cards that were worth more than $1, excluding the ones that were not, came out to $88.40. So just interesting to see. Similarly, this Mardu Outrider, brand new card. There are no other physical printings of this card, so there is a market price on TCG Player right around $8 right now, but because it's just so volatile, I didn't even include that. So there are some cards like that that are totally new. There is no other version of it that you could possibly get, although it is playable in Eternal formats. So that is not included, but it is pretty cool and definitely adds some more value there. One other thing to look at here are these playtest cards. You can see all 24 of them right here. Now, these are not playable. They're just kind of fun little collectible things, I guess. No prices from the app yet. I do see these listed on TCG Player. Some of them have pretty reasonable prices and do seem to be selling at them, but I didn't even include that at all in this calculation. I'm just treating them as something totally separate, some little extra thing that you get. But, you know, like this Sliver of Hope is going for about $5 right now. People are buying them for that price, so definitely more value added in too, just from these cards right here. I just didn't want to include it because there's really nothing to compare them to, and the prices are so volatile right now. But there are some things that we can look at that do have relatively concrete prices. So the first thing that I guess we'll look at here will be, I'm going to set the minimum price for now, just back to 0, so we get all the prices. And I want to look at the reprints. So we got two things to look at in the reprint slot. So first of all is the rares right here, which again, you can see there's no prices for most of these. And so what I did was go through and look at each card's non-list printing. So you could see here, I mean, this one has a price actually in the app, but you can see the Dominaria set symbol in the bottom right, and you can see even in the bottom left, even though it has the Planeswalker stamp indicating that it's a list card, it does have the original Dominaria number of 100. So I went through and I found all of the non-list versions of these cards and what their current TCG Player market price is, and anything more than $1, I added up, and that came out to $78.84, which is pretty good for just a random assortment of rares and mythics. We got a couple nice hits, you know, this Iroas, God of Victory, wherever he is down here. This is the Commander printing. You can see by the set symbol and the number in the bottom left, which is about $3 to $4 cheaper than the Born of the Gods printing. So I did use the exact set that it's from. And again, with these list cards, often they are cheaper than the original printing, so this is just an estimate. I would shave certainly a few dollars or more off of this, but sometimes people like the list printings because they're newer and they're fresher, so depending on the card, but I think it's a pretty good estimate. This Sorin, for example, this is only the second reprinting of this card. There is the original printing, and there is this Mystery Booster list version. So for a card like that, I think the price is pretty comparable. A lot of people don't care that there's just a little Planeswalker symbol on the bottom. Otherwise, it is functionally the same, and in appearance, it is identical with the exception of that one symbol in the bottom left. So I think that's a pretty decent way to look at the prices for these. And similarly, I did the same thing for the commons and uncommons. Now, this is a much larger list here. And again, not all of the prices show, but some of them did. So you can see some of the prices here. And then we get down to here where there are no more prices. Now, this was the bulk of the box, obviously. Most of this, just total junk, you know. I mean, again, really cool just to see this like random assortment of cards, but a lot of it is just bulk, has really no value. But there were some cards in here where this is an expensive card from an old set, maybe because it's playable, but it has never seen a reprint. Some of these, there was only one other printing of it. So again, to look at the comparable card, the non-list version with the same artwork and the same set symbol and everything else, I have here every single card that is worth more than $1 came out to $131.09. So some really cool cards here. That Shuko, I knew when I pulled it that had some value because I have a stack of those from back in the day that I just happened to notice the other day were worth quite a bit. But you know, like the Tangle, the One with Nature, Crimson Wisps, Cerulean Wisps, you know, the Crimson and Cerulean Wisps, I believe only had one other printing in Lorwyn, if I'm remembering correctly. So that card has some value, and to finally get a reprint of it, albeit with the little list symbol, is pretty cool to see, to have access to more physical copies of that card. And I think that the value should be pretty in line, if not maybe just a little bit less, with what those cards are going for. Now, of course, with these reprints, the price of the original printing may actually come down as there are more options available to get a playable version of the card. So these prices will probably change quite a bit, but again, just to get a little snapshot in time, for the common and uncommon reprint slot, came out to $131.09 of TCG Player market value for cards worth more than $1. And the very last thing that we'll look at here, which is the most concrete price, are the promo cards. You can see here, these all had prices when I scrolled through the full list at the beginning, so you may have already seen it. The only thing that doesn't have a price is this Convention Morrow right here. Not sure what that's going for, but I was really surprised to see the price on these. This extra secret lair, little legends that we got, and the promo pack cards, a lot of them going for quite a lot. So this promo pack by itself, which again may come down in price now that a lot of people are getting them and opening them and selling them, but as it stands today, the promo pack itself is worth $259.91 of TCG player market value. That's pretty much what I paid for the box. They were going for $250. They're up around $300 or a little bit more now. But if I were to sell all these cards as singles, I shouldn't have too much of a hard time getting pretty much what they're going for. If I were to sell them to someone else as a single directly, I could pretty much sell these and keep everything else from the box for free. So that's really crazy to see, just that these promo packs are worth that much. But if we add everything together for the entire box, it comes out to $791.98 for a grand total. Now again, this is just an estimate. This is not financial advice either. This is just me looking at, potential value from this box. Completely randomized depending on what you pull. You could get one of those crazy foil acorns, which are definitely selling for a lot more than the boxes are worth, almost guaranteed, or you could get a lot less lucky with the random nature of the fact that there are over 1,800 reprints in this set, so your commons and uncommons and your rare reprints may not be as good, or they may be better. But using these estimates, definitely got good value out of this box. Again, the future sight cards and the white border cards, not really sure if they're worth more or less than the printings that they are based on, or if the price of those printings will now change now that there are alternate versions of them available. The promos, as well, as I just mentioned, may come down in price now that more of them are being opened, but that is much more concrete. And obviously what you pull from the collector's packs, totally random, could get a crazy hit chase card, make a lot of money off it, could get next to nothing. In this case, we got $57.54, and that is the most concrete value of anything here because these are cards from sets in their original printings that have been opened and on the market with an equilibrium point and a price established for quite a long period of time. The rest of it is just estimating, but looking at that number, it seems like really good value from these boxes. So do with that information what you will. I'm not encouraging anyone to spend any money or to invest in these boxes in any way, but I just think it's fun to go through, see the cards. It was really cool to open. This video is probably going to take me days to edit and get up. At that point, a lot of this stuff is going to change. Certainly the prices will change. So do your own due diligence. For me, it's worth it just to open the cards and see them. Just see these cards you haven't seen in so long from all these old sets, this just random assortment of crazy different things, and these really cool new reprints with the future sight frame, the white borders, that white bordered snow covered island. I know that's like not that exciting to most people, but just that card alone is so cool to me. So it was really fun to open. It was really cool to see. I'm gonna get out of here and start editing this, but I do hope that you enjoy the video and find it useful in some way. So thanks for watching. Hope you have a good one. Hope you enjoyed. Take care. Peace.